Good morning guys, it's Ray, and today I wanted to talk a bit about reading journals, and that I keep one. Because I know recently I've seen some booktube videos about people who've got sort of reading journals for Christmas, and who basically, some of the reading journals I've seen have like a ridiculous amount of like fields for different information that you can put in about like sort of publisher and number of pages and all that sort of stuff. And I was watching it, I'm kind of going, you're going to spend like 10 minutes after you've finished a book filling in all that stuff. It's kind of crazy. And also I basically, because for the difference for how I do my reading journals compared to like sort of the commercial sold ones, it just sort of bugs me a little bit, but that's more just how they're laid out. But I have been keeping a reading journal and a full record of what I've read since about March 2009. So I have many years. And that's sort of around the same time I started using Library Thing to have and you can create catalogues on there of all of the books that you've read in a particular year. Because before they had catalogues that you could tag them, so I could sort of tag them like, depending on what reading challenge I was doing that year. Because at the start I would do like a 50 book challenge, and then did 75 book challenge. Even though I've never read less than 75 books, I've still kind of just done the 75 book challenge. Even though I'm not technically doing it, I just sort of, for some reason, for continuity's sake, I have it all tagged as that. So it's like I have several collections now with like sort of the 50 book 2009, the 75 2010, the 75 2011, 12, 13, 14, and now we're on to 15. So it's like I can see a full thing, and obviously then it gets more embarrassing as you get to the books that have got like 4 tags of different years because I keep rereading them. I also have like my reading journals that I kind of just list. I shall show you. But I have 3 reading journals from that I've acquired over the years. The first one is this one that I'm pretty sure I got from Waterstones, and whether they still sell this particular design, I'm not sure. But yeah, this is the first one that I bought way back in the day. And this one is laid out sort of alphabetically, so it's sort of like A, B, C going, and it's got like little tabbed bits along here, so it's red, that I think says to read, on loan, and notes. To me, the on loan section never. I think actually, you can sort of say for when you borrowed, you can have to and from. So borrowed. All of these are borrowed from the library. Oh, it says in here that I borrowed Sabriel from the library in 2009. What? I thought it was 2010 I read it. Much intrigue. Or maybe I read a library version and then I bought my own version. Heck, that means I read it twice. See how well I remembered that. It's very strange, I've not looked at this in ages. And the to read has worryingly a number of books. Out of all of those, I think I've read all of those, barring like one, which was one of the Alison Knowles Immortals series, because I really did not like that series. But yeah, so it's like, it goes all the way. I kind of took it as like surname, like author's surname for the alphabetical thing. But, so, certain sections are full. Like, basically, the A, B, C, D, E, F sections, and I think even the H sections. But yeah, H and, oh god, this is such a travesty of a page. Yeah, this is the I and J page. There is Charlene Harris, Anna Godbertson, that's Dorothy Coomson, and then that's J.R.R. Tolkien in the I and J pages. I don't think that's how the alphabet works. Yeah, but basically these are all around, these are all sort of November, December time ones, because by that point I'd already filled up their respective sections, so that was kind of one of the problems I had with it, the sort of, it's good if you only read like about like 20 to maybe 70 books a year. When you read 160, like I did in that year, it becomes very restrictive, because you very quickly have no space at all. And also I think even, ooh, there's paper in the back, I don't know what that is. In the end, it ends up with, for some reason, my student finance number from is in the back of here, plus my till training for Summerfield. Oh, okay, because there's at least three or four. Yeah, there's four reviews. I'll hide my student finance stuff, but there's a couple of reviews, like entries that had to go into notes because I just ran out of space, and I want to know what. Some random books that Wolves of Willoughby Chase. I had a craving apparently in 2009 for about reading Wolves of Willoughby Chase. I do now own that book, and I have read that. I can't even think, what on earth are these pieces of paper? Oh, it's books to buy. It's a list of books to buy that I filled, and a lot of these are. I love one of them, the fifth Power of Five book. That didn't come out until about 3 or 4 years after I wrote that. And then there's C.J. Sansom books that I never did read, but all the rest of them I did end up owning. So that's quite impressive. What's this one say? That's a to buy list as well. Alex Rider number 8, yeah, that's. And there's all the Sabre trilogy, which I do own, although I did buy all those what's it ones. They can go in the. I completely missed the bin there, that's ridiculous. I did buy all those C.J. Sansom books, and then I never read them, and then I sort of culled them out, although I still put in a cupboard at home. But yeah, that was, this is sort of all of my 2009 books that I read, and after I sort of finished using this, it's like, I don't want to have a commercially bought one again, because you've got to do it alphabetically, so they're not in chronological order, so you've got to dance through the book to try and find out what did I read after this one, because and then obviously once you've run out of spaces in the alphabet slots, you've got to start then throwing them into weird spaces like the Q section or the I and J and the Z section, so it just ends up looking like a bloody mess. So yeah, that was my first reading journal, and I don't want to go back to those. This is the second one I got. I just bought a notebook. It's just like a paper chase notebook. It's surprisingly heavy. Yes, this was my you can just about see that reading journal for 2010. I read 210 books in 2010. That was the year I read all the books and was rather not doing my uni assignments. And I'm not going to read you the front page, because on the sort of front pages of each of my journals, or at least like the start of the year, I kind of do a whole kind of rules for myself. So kind of basically targets for reading, so like also part of it how I'm structured it. This one I kind of actually decided to structure it more kind of what information I was going to have. So it's like title, author, date read, brief thoughts, and then a rating out of 5. In my new ones, there are a couple of extra fields. And this is, go back and finish the books you started and dropped. You know which I mean. I have no idea which I mean. I really shouldn't write myself some cryptic notes. Try to read at least one classic a month and a non-fiction. Clear at least half the TBRs. That's never happened. I don't buy so many books. No, I bought so many books that year. Except, of course, the ones which are next in series and the ones you really, really want. They all end up like that. Yes, my god, my handwriting seems quite neat in this. And then I sort of also, I usually have a page for like kind of notable or like the top ones. And I usually only get like a few in there because I then forget and never go back to it. But yes, The Hobbit, Rebecca, Beautiful Creatures, Eon, The Last Song, My Cousin Rachel, Count of Monte Cristo, Before I Fell and Return of the King. There's a surprising amount of classics in that list. I did read quite a few classics in that year. But then goes into actual reviews on this. This journal was like sort of 2 a page because it's not that massive a thing. So because I start with the title and then just put because it goes through in date order, so it doesn't matter if it's alphabetical, because then the title's the first thing you see, and then it just goes through all of that, and that's where I read Count of Monte Cristo, and I number the pages as well for, I don't know, for reasons, and I was just like, there's already that's where I read Last Sacrifice. In 2010 I got an early copy of Last Sacrifice, and I read it in like the most ridiculous speedy time I've ever read a book in my life, and then I kind of was flailing. And there's things about things to blog about. I didn't actually fill this notebook entirely. There are still some like empty pages at the back. There's also I sort of do my statistics at the end, so like for workout for how many books I read, books owned. So that's not how many books I bought in that year. My God, or out of the books I read, how many did I own? And then some new reads. I read 5 non-fiction that year. 12 classics. Wow, I've not done it anywhere near that good. And then sort of, I kind of the group in rating 36 5 stars. Probably a lot of those will be rereads. 4.5 stars, 70. Oh, damn it, my throat. And there's something else written other than that blog thing, I thought. As I was imagining it. What is it? Something there. Some stuff. Stuff for blog things when I was back. 2010 was the year I was prolifically blogging, so that was all sort of various things to do. So that was my 2010 journal. This is my current one. This has got everything from 2011 onwards, and I'm still going. You can see where that line is for where the book currently is, because this is quite a beastie. That's a letter that's been in there for ages. But this has got, basically, it's got a lot of pages. I'm currently it's over 200 something pages, because this year's reading has started on page 160. So there's all of these pages that are sort of the previous years or so. Right, where does 2011 finish? There we go. So that's all of 2011's reading. That was 168 books read, and that was when I was still, because like the format for this journal I did sort of slightly differently. So I had title, author, date read, the genre, the source. So if I borrowed it, bought it, got given it as a gift, I thieved it from somewhere, and then so like a review. But it's usually I'm doing like a little synopsis, and then kind of rating out of 5. And so back in 2011, I was quite good at filling in all that, because you can see all the synopsis. And then when you get into, and even for 2012, I was still quite good at that. It's when you get about 2013, where I'm doing quite well. Whole page of nothing. That's where I read Wolves of Willoughby Chase in that section. And then there's another whole page of nothing, and that's quite bad, because that's Clockwork Prince and Clockwork Princess, although they were probably rereads. Another load of nothings, and Unravel Me's in that, plus The Raven Boys and Shatter Me. Books that I loved, I just didn't bother to sort of fill in all the details. And there's all of those. The Wolf Princess, that's when I read The Wolf Princess. That's probably why I couldn't remember anything to talk about it for over sort of this time I was working at Waterstones, when it was our book of the month. Didn't write anything down about it, but then I did only give it 3.5 stars. Like more rereads, a whole double page with nothing written, because I'm apparently a terrible person. Oh my God, there's another whole 8 there. That's one. I put a synopsis in for Dark Triumph. Yeah, I'm not going to show you all these symbols. Basically, I got really lazy, and 2014 is also very lazy. Although I did have that's quite a good page. There's about 7 on there. 8, there's 60. I can't count, but yeah. A worrying amount of my books don't get kind of actually thingied in there. I was kind of good with those. The first 3 I did, but then I've just updated it to where I am currently, and no, I've not written anything in there. But yeah, this is going to last me at least till the end of 2016, unless it falls apart before then, because the cover's not very well attached. But yes, I could put more information in there, like sort of like publisher and things like that, and like note down the series, but then I have that kind of information on my library thing, so I don't really need a written record of it. But this is like, I kind of need it all to have the information there, so I can like then add up the totals and at the end of the year kind of assess what I've read and what do I need to do better. I don't really review that much at all anymore, so it's not kind of like I make the notes so I can review it. It's so I can just know. I just like knowing what I've read. Although I don't record books that I've reread within the year. So if I, like last year when I reread Shattermead, like in April, and then I reread it in October, I didn't note down that I read it in October, but I know I did, because I'm a terrible person. Oh my god. But yes, those are my reading journals. They're not that terribly interesting to most people maybe, but me, while some of those other sort of commercial reading journals you get are quite cool, I am quite a fan of my notebook, although it does mean I have to sort of go through with a ruler drawing all these lines in and numbering the pages, which I need to do to wherever I am. So I'm probably about page 163, 164 of this. It's lasted me quite well. It's going to be a sort of interesting thing for sort of in like 10 years time looking back going, oh, so that's what I read on that random day in 2011. Cool. But yes, this is now very long, and I did not mean it to be this long. I really didn't. It's also very strange because I'm filming and it's before 9 a.m. Oh my god. Yeah, there's a very good reason for why I'm up this early. It's not a good reason, it's a stupid reason. But I'm awake anyway, so I need more caffeine. But I shall go, and I shall see you soon. Hope you enjoyed this. Share if you keep your own reading journals and what kind of information do you want to keep about them. And do you like sort of the shop sold ones where they're usually just alphabetical rather than any other kind of form of organisation? Let us know, and I'll see you soon. Bye.